Before he was president, Jimmy Carter was a peanut farmer, a Navy officer, and a man of deep faith. Proof that humble beginnings can lead to incredible legacies. Born in Plains, Georgia in 1924, Carter grew up during the Great Depression. Life was hard, but it taught him honesty, empathy, and the value of hard work. He attended the U.S. Naval Academy, where he trained as an engineer and served with distinction in the Navy's submarine program. After his father's death, Carter returned home to run the family peanut farm. But his vision was always bigger than his hometown. He entered politics in the 1960s, serving as a Georgia state senator and then as governor, where he championed equality and civil rights. At a time when Southern politics resisted change, Carter stood up for justice, declaring that the time for racial discrimination is over. His honesty and compassion earned him national attention, and in 1976, he shocked the world by winning the presidency as an outsider. He promised a government as good as its people, and after the scandals of Watergate, America believed in him. As president, Carter faced enormous challenges: inflation, energy shortages, and international crises that tested his resolve, but he approached every issue with moral clarity. He believed leadership wasn't about popularity, it was about doing what's right. Carter created the Department of Energy and the Department of Education, reshaping the modern federal government. He also pushed for renewable energy long before it was popular, even installing solar panels on the White House roof. But Carter's greatest achievement came on the world stage. The Camp David Accords in 1978, after 13 tense days of negotiation, he brokered peace between Egypt and Israel, ending decades of war and earning the Nobel Peace Prize. It was one of the greatest diplomatic triumphs in American history. Yet, Carter's presidency wasn't easy. The Iranian hostage crisis overshadowed his final year in office. 52 Americans were held captive for 444 days, and though Carter worked tirelessly for their release, the crisis defined his legacy. Many called him weak, but behind the scenes, Carter refused to risk lives for political gain. He chose principle over power. In January 1981, just minutes after he left office, the hostages were finally freed. History remembers his patience, not his pride. After the White House, Carter didn't fade away. He became more active than ever. He founded the Carter Center, promoting human rights, democracy, and peace across the globe. He helped monitor elections in troubled nations and fought diseases in some of the poorest countries on Earth. Through Habitat for Humanity, Carter personally built homes for families in need. Well into his 90s, he showed the world that leadership doesn't end when power does. When asked how he wanted to be remembered, Carter said, "I'd like to be remembered as someone who tried, a man of humility, faith, and service." Jimmy Carter turned compassion into action. He remains the longest living U.S. president in history, a living example of integrity, peace, and perseverance. From farmer to president to global humanitarian, his story proves that greatness isn't measured by power, but by purpose. Jimmy Carter's legacy reminds us that kindness is strength, and service is leadership. This was the story of a man who taught the world that humanity, not politics, is the true measure of a leader. If you found this president interesting or learned something new, please like, comment, and subscribe for more. Check out the other US presidents on the channel, and as always, thanks for watching.